Hello and welcome to the home of the Ghost Owl, and this is the last in our series of a faction focus look at possible lords and heroes that could be added into the game Total Warhammer 3. A recent roadmap release identifying the next 12 months with lords and heroes to be added to the game. Harry the Hammer as a legendary hero recently added to Warriors of Chaos, and a keen interest in Warhammer Fantasy Battle that I've been playing since 1992 led me to have a quick look at who I thought we might see in the game in the future, and led to the creation of these videos. So we've been doing it in alphabetical order, and we've now reached the last of the factions, which is the Wood Elves. Wood Elves right now in a pretty good place, and as with all the other factions, and as with the huge amount of lore there is out there in the world, decades of lore, hundreds of books, we're trying to focus on the most well-known, the most famous characters in Warhammer Fantasy, with a particular focus on those that had models or were in the last army book that was issued for their faction before Warhammer Fantasy came to an end. So, when we're looking at the Wood Elves, what we currently have in the game, we've got Orion, Durthu, and Sisters of Twilight. They were all in the 8th edition army book, or army list, I should say. Some of these actually didn't get an 8th edition book. It was a 7th or 6th edition book, but it was the one you used in the 8th edition of the game. You have Dryker, who was in the book as well, but was an 8th edition hero. This isn't uncommon in Total Warhammer. We've seen that with Loki of Felhar and a number of others, where units that were heroes in the book have become lords in the game. So what's left then when you look at the lords? Well, the most obvious one for me is Araloth. Araloth, he's the Lord of the Tal'Sin, which is a faction in the game. He has a really cool looking model, which still exists today under a different name. But it would be kind of nice to have a wood elf, an elf character. Orion's not, Durthu's a tree man, Dryker's, not. Sisters of Twilight kind of are, but they're not your traditional sort of glade captain, general type character. So Araloth, I think, would be really cool to have in the game and would be different to the lords we currently have. The other option is Daith, Elven Smith, and Master of the Torgavan. Maybe that's something different that could be added into the game. The other one there is interesting how you pronounce one, Sealan, who's the ruler of Winterheart, though for me doesn't, it's not one that I would really focus on in the game. If I had to pick one, it would be Araloth without a doubt. But Daith, I think, also has an opportunity to be in there. In terms of heroes, well, they currently have Ariel in the game, so there's no real need, I don't think, to add another hero. If you did, though, possible hero would be Scarlock, who's a Azrai champion and leader of the Scouts. Maybe there's something in there around like Deepwood Scouts and so on, but really not needed. So for me, the main focus is even just a single additional legendary lord, which is Araloth, because I'd really like to have just your typical, glade captain, general style legendary lord that you get with Araloth. And he does fit, as I say, of Lord of the Tal'Sin there. So Wood Elves, for me, quite straightforward. They're in a good place in the game. In fact, they're in a strong place in the game. And so we'll see what happens to them in the future. A fairly short finishing video with a faction look at the possible lords and heroes for the Wood Elves. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why in the comments down below. And as always, if you want to see more videos, then please hit that subscribe button. It's free for you to do, but it means a lot for me, so thank you for that in advance. And if you disagree with anything I've said, I'd be interested to know in the comments down below who and why you think a particular lord or hero should be added to the Wood Elf roster. You've been watching The Ghost Owl, and we've come to the end of our faction look at the different races in Total Warhammer 3. I'll see you back very soon for some more different videos.